Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. So today we are taking a look at an interesting little bit of drama here. So we're going to start off with the Marc-Andre Fleury signing, and inevitably what has happened with Cam Talbot. There's been a fallout between him and the organization, so we're going to discuss that. So there's a lot of kind of interesting things about this. So Cam Talbot, the 35-year-old goaltender of the Minnesota Wild, is on the final year of his contract with the team. Cam Talbot has 1 year left, and Marc-Andre Fleury was set to hit the open market this summer. He ends up re-signing and extending a 2-year contract with the Minnesota Wild, a 2-year deal, $3.5 million per season, full no movement clauses attached to that. So what makes this so significant? Well, it's going to be 1A, 1B again, right? Except for when the end of the season happened, Cam Talbot was on the bench and he didn't play in the postseason. So you could understandably say he was a little upset by that. And to be honest, I think there is reason to believe that. And that's fine. You know, he's allowed to have that thought, except don't be mad when Minnesota goes out and does what they did. They want to win the Stanley Cup. But apparently, the context here you have to remember is it's funny that Marc-Andre Fleury is now the goalie that is taking over another starting goalie, because just a few seasons ago, isn't this interesting? You know, you go back a couple years, and time is one of those weird things where Marc-Andre Fleury's agent, Alan Walsh, when he was in Vegas, was tweeting, basically, a picture of Marc-Andre Fleury with a sword through Marc-Andre Fleury's Vegas Golden Knights sweater when they signed Robin Lehner. Now, isn't it fitting that this time around, Robin Lehner, is in Vegas, right? Marc-Andre Fleury now is the one that is coming in as the starter, taking his job. It's kind of interesting, right? Kind of interesting to see how the tables have turned in just a couple of years. So Marc-Andre Fleury, I just made a video about this. You know, Fleury signs a deal, $7 million, 2-year deal, 3.5 per year. Good contract. I'm fine with that. He wanted 2 years on his deal. He wouldn't accept a 1-year deal, and he wanted full autonomy in the event of a trade, similar to his contract with Chicago. But he also wanted to win, and I think Minnesota, he can win. And I said that, this lays out the plan perfectly, right? Because it's going to be Marc-Andre Fleury and Cam Talbot as your tandem this year. Cam Talbot's on the final year of his contract. He walks in free agency in the summer next year, or he goes in free agency and signs elsewhere. Whatever the case, Fleury will then be the bridge goaltender, and Jesper Wallstedt in not this season, but next season, it'll be Jesper Wallstedt as the backup behind Marc-Andre Fleury, and Fleury can retire at the ripe young age of 41 years old, allowing Jesper Wallstedt to become the quote-unquote next goalie of the future in Minnesota, which you got to be careful when you say that stuff, but we're going to do it here. So I guess Cam Talbot isn't too thrilled that this is happening, because he's like, well, I'm supposed to be the starter here. And I don't get that. That is a guy, and I've seen it before, I understand it, but I would see it as an opportunity to say, all right, he should be having the mindset, I'm better than this guy. Right? And maybe he thinks to himself he's not, and then that's your problem right there. You trade him out. He doesn't want to, right? He's not a good enough goalie to think he's better than the other guy. That's called, it's filtering out the guys that don't want to be there. If he doesn't think he could beat Fleury in training camp as the starting goalie, then why would you want him anyway? I would consider trading Talbot if he really is that upset with it. Now, here is where things get even more interesting. We know how Bill Guerin is, right? I remember he was the captain of the New York Islanders for a couple of years. This is a guy that doesn't take any BS. And what he was, a reporter had asked him about, did you see the stuff with Cam Talbot and his agent? And his quotes were pretty interesting. And that's what we're going to get to here, because that is the really interesting part of this whole thing. So this is from Bill Guerin. right? So Wild GM Bill Guerin, in his response to Talbot's agent saying he has a lot to think about following the Fleury extension, this is Bill Guerin. I don't have explicit to do. Talbot's under contract. His agent can say whatever the hell he wants. So Bill Guerin just said, screw you, dude. He's under contract to be our goaltender. So I think that is very interesting. Now, here's the thing. I don't see this playing out. It's not going to play out because now Fleury's like, oh, this guy, he's being a crybaby that I took his spot, right? And that's not going to be good morale in the room, especially when you have such a young team, right? You have guys like Marco Rossi and Matthew Boldy. You don't want that stink in the locker room. That's not going to help you succeed, right? So I think it's very interesting that that's the status. So like I said, the timeline stays the same. I think Talbot and Fleury this season. In year 2, in 2 years from now, it'll be Fleury and Wallstedt in his first full season. Maybe we'll see him a little bit coming up from the Iowa Wild this year. I don't know. And then eventually Wallstedt will be the starter. Hopefully. Let's hope that's how it works. But Cam Talbot's been like this since he was with the Rangers. I remember he didn't like being behind Cam Talbot. He got pushed out, right? He wanted to be a starter somewhere. He went to Edmonton. Things inevitably didn't work out in Edmonton. He had one miracle run, didn't work out. Goes to Calgary, didn't work out there. Went to Philly, that didn't work out. He's been all over the place, and, I wish the best for him. I mean, I can't believe he's 35 years old already. I remember when he was in his mid to late 20s. He's been around the league for a while, and maybe he thinks, I do earn a little respect, but that's the game. This is a cutthroat league, and they want to win. And Bill Guerin was able to get Fleury to return. I think that's a win for the team. Cam Talbot, listen, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe this is, he needs to get traded. I don't know what's going to end up happening, but the way Guerin's treating it, he's like, no, this isn't how this is going to work, because he's looking at it as, all right, so if I get a third-round pick for Talbot, I lose because Talbot's going to go and succeed where he goes. He just doesn't want to be the backup, right? So you have to find, if you are to make a trade, Bill Guerin has to be, he can't be like, oh, I got to make a move. He's not going to do that. Unless he's getting a first or second round pick or something of that equivalent value, he's going to say, no, we're not making that trade. He's going to stay here. He's under contract. He has no say in the matter here, unfortunately. That's how it works. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think they pulled the rug out from under Cam Talbot? Do you like the signing of Marc-Andre Fleury? What do you guys think of that? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go Wild.